Peace, peace. Yo, it's your guy DJ Klyph, man. I'm in here getting ready to do another episode of Klyph Notes, but I'm working on hitting y'all with something new. So many dope producers that I've had an opportunity to connect with here in Portland and really worldwide. And I want to utilize this platform to feature some of these producers, give you a little taste of some of my favorites, man. So we gonna start this off on this episode of Klyph Notes, man. I'm gonna give you a little taste of production from my man Theory Has It. Now, if you're connected with me at all, especially through Welcome to the Neighborhood, you know how big a fan of Theory I am. And this year he's actually been releasing a bunch of beat tapes. And so I got a lot to choose from. He released his beat tape called Bless Your Food, and I'm gonna hit you with probably my favorite joint off of that. It's available all over your place that you get your music, iTunes, Bandcamp. Just check out my man Theory Has It. So this is from Bless Your Food. It's a joint called God Willing. We're gonna hear this. We're gonna get into this next episode of the podcast, and I'm gonna hit you with one more joint from my man Theory Has It at the end of the podcast. So check this out, God Willing, from my man Theory Has It. Boy, DJ Klyph, let's go.
Those of you who don't have no God on your side, if I were you this evening, I wouldn't wait too long. I'd bow down on my knees and say, for God I live, and for God I'm willing.
I'm gonna start featuring some of the local producers on the podcast just because there's so much great production here from the Portland metro area, and I want to be sure that I use whatever platforms I have to support and promote these cats. So on this episode, you get to hear music from my man Theory Has It, and just one of the dopest producers, but also one of the dopest MCs. So a track from my man Theory Has It that you heard at the start of this guy. Continue to be on the look for Theory. I know he's got a project that's coming pretty soon. But yeah, you're going to get to hear more from local producers. A couple of opportunities to let you folk know about coming up at the end of this month on August the 31st. We have the August edition of Mic Check PDX, which is the monthly hip hop showcase that we do with resident DJ Trox, host Star Child. And on the 31st, you get an opportunity to see Portland MC Mike Capes. You get to see MC producer Fontaine, and then my man Cash Hollister is coming through the city. So that's going to be a really, really dope lineup. You definitely want to check that out. Head over to the website, miccheckpdx.com for information on the show and your opportunity to get tickets. Also coming up, you have an opportunity to see a Portland legend. My man Versatile is doing a show on Saturday, September the 2nd, over at the McMenamins White Eagle. It's going to be a crazy show. It's going to be versatile. I was just talking about Theory. Theory has it, and then I'm gonna be on the bill as well, so you can come check us out. Once again, that's going down on Saturday, September the 2nd at the White Eagle. If you'd head over to the White Eagle Saloon's website, you can get tickets. There's probably also a link on my Bands in Town, so just search for DJ Klyph, and you can get tickets to come see. It's literally a Portland legend. Also coming up on September the 14th, Thursday, September the 14th, I have another opportunity to curate a night of music with the Portland Institute of Contemporary Art Time-Based Art Festival, and this one's going to be nice, man. You've probably been hearing, well, if you follow me at all, you know how much I've been promoting the artist Win, and she is an amazing MC. She did Mic Check for us in June. She's just been growing as an artist and really getting her name out there. Well, Win is going to be on the bill. My man Champagne Dwayne is going to be on the bill. I know Johnny Cool is going to be there making an appearance. And DJ OG1 is going to be in the building. So that goes down on Thursday, September the 14th. And you can get tickets at pica.org. Also linked through my website, djklyph.com. So those are opportunities that you definitely want to put on your calendar and come out and check out some really good music, really good time. All right, so you know what this is, man. Klyph Notes is an opportunity to connect with people who are making an impact on their community in various ways, and we've had an opportunity to interview some great MCs, some great DJs, and tonight is no different. I've had an opportunity to watch this man's brand from a distance, and it's really such a blessing and an honor to have a chance to sit down with him for a few minutes and chop it up with this cat. He's got a really cool clothing line that he's been growing. Some amazing designs. And without any further ado, let them know who you are, my man.
Hey, DJ Renz, Trent Berry from Akepele Apparel.
That's what's up, bro. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
So again, bro, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Look, like I said, I've sort of just been watching from a distance over time. I've seen your brand kind of just popping up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been intrigued just because comes across. I mean, it really pops. It really comes across nice. But let everybody know first of all what the brand is. We'll start with that.
So Akepele Apparel is a brand that kind of provokes nostalgic feelings and pushes homage to funk, soul, hip hop, R&B. It's kind of like my love of music, and I'm trying to translate that into a visual thing for people to see and be a part of.
Yeah.
A lot of it really just came from wanting to something that I can carry on and push forward to, and something to invest in my time, and that's solid and tangible that hopefully I could take into my other career,
right.
And kind of take that path with it, which is kind of where it's going now. So yeah, it's good.
It almost sounds cliche-ish, but the truth of the matter is there's always been a very solid connection between hip hop in particular and fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Is that do you feel like that's one of the things that made it easy to start this process?
It did. I mean, there's independent brands all over the place, and they're popping up consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, every week a new brand pops up. To me, longevity and quality is what I think is going to leave Akepele with a different standpoint and kind of carry us into another place. Again, everybody's doing something around hip hop or another kind of fashion element, pop culture type of stuff. Akepele is really no different, but I'm kind of doing my own twist on it, and I keep my ear to other brands, but I necessarily don't pay attention to what they're doing because I don't want it to influence where I'm going.
Right.
I kind of want to just take my own direction and my own feeling and push forward with it. So far, I haven't really made any wrong turns, which is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe a couple of designs didn't do as well as I thought, but eventually they either picked up or it was enough to move through the product that I had. So to me, that's a win.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So first let's talk about the way visually what people see when they see Akepele. We talked about this a minute ago. It's, if you read it, it says Akepele.
Yeah. The phonetic spelling. And that kind of came from when I decided to call the brand Akepele. Like the name just kind of sounded cool to me. Like, all right, Akepele. It's kind of tight because if with that, it means without instrument. right? So you take like a voice of somebody saying something, whether it's poetic or something inspirational, and there's no instrument behind it. It's just what their voice says. So to me, it's kind of like a cappella. You're giving me something in an a cappella form,
Right.
like you would with music.
Right.
Like you could sing a song a cappella and it just sounds beautiful, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It kind of spoke to me, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But just the word a cappella, it's spelled a couple of different ways in general, depending on how you break up the syllables of it. But then I looked at the phonetic spelling and I was like, this looks kind of cool, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I played with it a little bit, and I obviously did some research to make sure I was having the right phonetic spelling of it again, because it goes around and it could be a little bit different. But I found it, and it locked in, and I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And trademarking it was real hard because there's a lot of description in there that has to be accounted for.
Oh, word.
From the schwa e, the umla a, and all that has to be broken down and worded out to be able to trademark it, which is real interesting to me. But
Yeah.
that was part of the process too, to make sure I locked it down and I own and have everything. So I'm good.
That's what's up.
Crossing my T's and dotting my I's.
Like in
Yeah.
a real way.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very
Oh
real
yeah, I
way.
put so much energy and time and money into this. Like it means something to me. It's mine.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
it and own it,
yeah.
so it's good.
When did you start?
2014 is when I officially launched. June of 2014.
Okay.
To back up just a little bit on it, I moved to LA in 2010, and at that time, me and my boy Jello Rock, Jordan Croft, had been bouncing around some ideas to do a T-shirt line, and we came up with a few ideas, and we were starting to work it while he was still here in Portland and I was in LA, and I got busy with my life progressing down there, and everything. Trying to live and get work and this and that. And he was on a bunch of other projects that he's doing. And so it kind of just fizzled out. And in the meantime, I just was still brainstorming ideas of I didn't, obviously Acapella, the name wasn't there yet,
Yeah.
but the ideas behind it were. And so, excuse me. So when I moved back in 2013, I wanted to revamp the idea again. And I brought it to him and he was like, yeah, I'm interested. Let's do it,
Yeah.
So I said, all right, we met and talked about some stuff and literally just sat and brainstormed ideas to call the brand. We had a couple of other directions we wanted to take it. There was some legalities that were going to be in there, so we decided not to go that route.
Yeah, yeah.
And we finally, I brought the name Acapella, and he's like, I like that. That's good. And so that's when we sat down, and I was like, I'm going to use the phonetic spellings. It's tight. So it was kind of there at the conception of it, and I just got busy on it. Really just started, got the business license and got all this stuff going, and threw down a few real simple designs and a couple of other ideas. And all the while I was pulling from this list of stuff I had just, I'd been jotting down for years.
Yeah.
And I just got moving on it. And I hit him up. I was like, I think I'm ready to really launch this and do some big things. Are you still down? And he's like, man, I want to, but my projects are taking up my time. And he says, and I feel like you've already kind of done more than what I could have contributed. So just run with it.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's kind of, gave the blessing of like, man, it's yours. You're already doing all the work. You might as well roll with it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where it went. And it's kind of where I ended up at.
Wow.
It just moving. So, I mean, just to back up, I probably didn't touch on your original question, but again, that's my ramble. But yeah.
Nah. That's, I mean, again, I just think I think it's dope to always hear the genesis of a lot of what we do,
Mhm.
sort of where things come from.
Yeah.
Because then I think when you step into the project, whether it be a music project, a visual project, or whatever, to sort of hear that history, I think it adds a lot to it. Oftentimes, I think taking things even to another level as a consumer or as a fan of.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's dope to sort of hear where all that came from.
Yeah. It's a cool story. And it's not like something that I'm going to make a t-shirt brand and
Yeah.
just throw some stuff out there. There's actually was a lot of thought and preparation put into it. I mean, everything from the quality of the garments I use and to finding the right vendor to do my screen printing.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost a lot of money when I first launched, just being naive,
Yeah.
a novice to the industry.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, I could come up with an idea and just ship it out to a screen printer and it's going to come back.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing and I lost some money. So I had to, kind of dip into what I wasn't trying to originally spend on the launch.
Yeah.
And make it work. But again, it was all a learning experience. And if it came too easy, I wouldn't appreciate it, and it's kind of
what's
where I'm
up.
at now,
That's what's up.
and it pushed me into another direction too, because I mean, you have to in order to get your vendors, you have to become a business. And so I had to be real serious about it. Am I going to throw this money into it and make it a legit thing, or am I going to just do it as a hobby?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's interesting, man. I have that conversation oftentimes when it comes to talking to artists or talking to people about artists that, there's really nothing wrong with doing the things that we love as a hobby.
Mhm.
But I think the thing to do is to really establish, why am I doing this? If I'm doing it as a hobby, then no, I'm doing it as a hobby.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it because I want to try to become a professional at it, I want this to be my profession,
Mhm.
then you do have to take a whole different approach, which is what
Yeah.
you just described. But I guess that's just my message to people out there. Know that it's cool. You will get support for the things that you do as a hobby. But if you say you want to do this for real, it's just a whole different level of commitment.
It is, and it's there's a lot of sacrifice too. Like my lady, she sacrifices a lot of time. She finally accepted that, okay, this is what you want to do, and you're serious about it. So she's on my team 100%. And those moments when I get frustrated or down, she's always there. No, remember, this is what we talked about, and this is why we're here. And it's good to have her on my team because she's a good motivator.
That's what's
But
up.
because it's stressful, it really is. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of competition out there, and I'm aware of that. But there's also a point of contention with myself of like, I want to still be creative and I want to put something out there that's good and quality and thought provoking and provokes conversation and, that could bring people together. And, and that kind of goes into with one of my biggest selling tees is the Funk Boogie Soul Disco tee.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the most basic, imprint you could put on a shirt, but it's branded to me now. People see that and they know it,
Yeah.
and it provokes so much conversation with people. Like I'll get emails or Instagram messages of like, man, I just met the coolest people and conversations just based off of this shirt. I love it. It's great and this and that. And
Yeah.
and it just things like that. I think that someone to take the time and let me know that they were moved by it. I'm like, this is why I'm doing it, right? I'm trying to bring people together and provoke conversation, and everybody can relate to the funk music, soul music, boogie, and disco.
Right.
It was all just a real feel good time, and that to me is like some of my favorite tastes of music, and so it made sense to me to do that, right? And
That's what's up.
it was cool. I like that.
So kind of maybe one of the more typical questions, if you feel, and you can always say, no, I don't want to say, but the design that you were like, oh, this gonna be the one that didn't hit.
My no request tee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I remember that one.
And so I thought, okay, so if I'm going to do the phonetic spelling of acapella is my thing, why not do like a definition shirt, right? And I created my own definition of what a no request would be, just kind of basically shut the hell up and let the DJ do their thing, right?
Right.
And I put the no request and then, the phonetic spelling of what the word no and request would be. And I kind of just put it all into a shirt. And I mean, it maybe could have just simply been the design just wasn't aesthetically pleasing enough. But the shirt, I sold enough of them to make it good. But it was one of those that I thought was going to fly off the shelf. And then, ironically enough, at the time, the sorry no request shirts were popping up. And I'm like, that's dope.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, it could have been just the design, and which is fine. It's, you live and learn. And, there really wasn't a lot of market research in there. I was just going off of the fact of I hate requests. And I think every DJ friend that I have, I know it feels the same way,
Yeah.
So,
and that's one of the things that we didn't really get on air really is the fact that you are a DJ.
yeah.
And that's that being a DJ, really being a part of the music in a tangible way. You have an opportunity, obviously, to see kind of what people are feeling. You mentioned kind of what people are feeling artistically, aesthetically, visually, aesthetically, and the impact that I'm assuming that has on the design process.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to design, do you have a design team, or are you doing all that right now?
I'm doing everything right now.
Wow.
I've contracted out a few people for some designs. Jason Petagana did my first design, the graffiti logo.
Okay.
He designed that for me. I went to high school with him and
Word.
reached out to him, and he was like, "Wow, I would love to be down," and he rocked it. That's still a really good tee. I'm bringing those back out again with a different colorway because it's a popular tee. I like it, and I was blessed that he designed that for me for like a Nike swoosh fee. You know what I mean? Like
word.
real inexpensive fee. Literally he was like free, but I was like, I got to give you some change. So did that, and it was good, and I'm super grateful for that. And had him on. But it's, to me, honestly, I've reached out to a few designers, and it's just finding people to commit and follow through. But so that's telling me that let me just continue doing where I'm at right now because it's working, and I'll push forward. And if I got an idea that I feel like is not moving, then I'll go bring somebody else in. But
Wow.
It's crazy. It's a lot.
I mean, it's, I can only imagine the challenges that that are associated with that. I love the fact that you say that you are aware that there are other folk who are doing design, but you try to really stay focused. Because I think when people look at what you've presented thus far, you can really feel that that common element to so far every design that
Yeah.
you've done, which is really really cool. So I've always felt that way about sort of that artistic thing when it's just like when you hear production and you be like, oh, that's a Dre beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That if you can get that visually as well, to just know, okay, yep, that's acapella without even seeing the acapella.
Yeah.
Which is
And
dope.
that's kind of where my focus is and where I'm trying to go with it is I want to be able to get that design print. And again, I'm not an artist in any way. Like I can't draw. My handwriting's horrible.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I could work a computer and I could express ideas, and I think that's where when I get like roadblocked, I have a few people that I lean on. I'm like, hey, what should I do here? What do you think about this? And they'll give input, which is good. But to go back to what you're saying about being influenced by being a DJ, most of my designs right now are more like to the DJ community because that's kind of where I sit right now.
Yeah.
But there's definitely another element that's going to be to the graffiti artists and to the
Word.
dancers and to the MCs. It's more about just getting to that point, like I want to, when I go into that element, like I said, I'm not a writer, so
Yeah.
I want to be able to pull in somebody who's legit and
Yeah.
is going to give a good take on it,
Yeah.
like Petagana,
Yeah.
he's a good artist,
Yeah.
and bringing him in was legit, right? It's not like I just, hey, can you use your
Right.
computer program and give me a font that
Right.
looks,
Right.
So it's like that. But again, yeah, like all the elements I really want to try and pull in and be involved because I appreciate all of them and all of them have meant something to me one way or another. And they're all like super creative and talented. It's just, where I sit, I used to be a B-boy too. So I'm kind of hoping I could reach that crowd too with some friends that I used to dance with and be able to get them to jump on board of what I'm going to put out there, so, but in
what's
time,
up,
in
man.
due time.
I mean, it really what it sounds like. It just sounds like hip hop. You're looking at all of the elements and want to incorporate that into what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
dope.
definitely. Yeah. It's good. And, like the funk and the soul music and all that is kind of, the inspiration of some of, hip hop's greatest hits and such.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of like my favorite area of music, like I said before. And so it's easy for me to look back into that and kind of get that feeling and like, okay, this is where I'm at. So that's why I want to, it's to provoke nostalgia and pay homage to all of this that's created this culture of hip hop, and it's just, it's one of those things that I'm happy to be a part of and happy to be there to appreciate it, and there's areas where I could probably put a little bit more attention to, but I just thinking about like, yesterday, 44 years of this culture that, just some youth being creative. Look what it's, become.
Yeah.
That right there, we just kind of want to sit back and take a deep breath and take that in. It's pretty epic, for lack of a better word.
Right, it's crazy because I'm of the older generation, and so I remember when the conversation literally was, oh, this fad thing is gonna go away. I mean, I remember when when you listen to FM radio and the only time that you could hear hip hop on the radio was I had to stay up until 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning because urban radio was just R&B and disco and funk and soul. You know what I mean? And so when hip hop came on the scene, when rap came on the scene, everybody was just waiting for it to fall off. And at the time, I always felt like it's not going anywhere. I mean, this is our way of expressing ourselves. I remember that fight, that struggle, and then I remember, you started seeing rap more incorporated into pop culture, and you'd hear rap on a commercial, or you saw this acceptance that started to happen. So it's to look back at it yesterday. So we're recording this on the 12th, so the day after the birthday of hip hop. But it's interesting, man. I was listening to an interview with David Banner, and he was saying that about hip hop. We haven't even really had, like, hip hop is still pretty young when you think about it. I mean, I guess you could say it's sort of midlife, but it hasn't lived a full life yet at only 44 years. So it's amazing to see what happens next when it comes to the evolution of the elements.
Yeah.
Again, fashion being one of them, depending on who you talk to.
It is, and it's funny too. I was just talking to a friend today, actually, an old B-boy friend, and we were talking about how the caliber of breakdancers, the b-boys that are out right now is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, and I blame Red Bull for that because they all these kids have all this energy now, right?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, and then you like MCs. I mean, the evolution of that has been great. The turntablist skills right now is almost unheard of, and I mean, and the artwork that people are putting out. I mean, the culture as a whole is just growing and it's evolving.
Yeah.
And if you're really staying true to the elements of it, I mean, there's talent out there, and people are still putting in real good work. I mean, you know, you're always gonna have your commercial, your generic run-of-the-mill stuff that's out there, but you know, you follow the real true people, you're gonna find the heart of it, you know, and that I fully believe that.
And to me, it's sort of one of the things that's exciting to me as a curator of the art is that I think that with the commercialization of the art form, now you have a lot of people maybe who would not have been exposed traditionally to hip hop as a whole, all the elements of hip hop, who are at least now aware of it.
Yes.
But then we have the opportunity to say, yeah, that's rap music, but listen to this. Or yeah, that's what we get to see on the commercials, but look at this. And I think it just feels good to be able to maintain. And I know that some people say, you know, you can't just always be old school, but it's not about necessarily being old school, I think, as much as it is having an understanding of the foundation.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, right. Because the foundation, just like you spoke of, when you look at what was the foundation, breakbeats, where did that come from? A lot of soul records, right? We still have to maintain that so that we can build on it. The firmer your foundation, the stronger the whole is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a firm believer that the foundation of hip hop and the culture is so strong, it'll never go below that.
Yeah.
You know, it's very strong. It might go in a different direction, but it's always going to have a strong foundation. You can always rebuild on it, you know? And I feel like that's kind of where we're going is in another direction right now, where music is changing. Got your millennials, your mumble rap and all this stuff. But again, that's, you know, it may not be my taste of music, but it's for the kids out there. They like it, they relate to it, and they enjoy it. But again, I have a feeling it's going to evolve back. I mean, you're starting to get people who, you know, like the MP3 situation where you got the true vinyl purists and people who play MP3s, right? Some of the people that were playing MP3s and converted, they now want to go back and get vinyl. It's the tangible of it, right? And so to me, it's like when you're dealing with like an MC who's just doing cliche rhymes and you know like that's really not something there. Eventually, people are going to want something that's you know sonically more tangible that you can take in and like I want the meat of what you're saying in a sense, you know, rather than just you know some hooks and some ad libs. You know, people are going to want more, and I feel like that's where our evolution is going to come back around again. People are going to start wanting more and expect more out of it, you know. And I just think that's where we're at, you know.
And I think that one of the conversations that I've been having is I think it's going to happen organically because, again, when we look at the roots of hip hop, so again, a lot of information has come out recently, which has really been cool. Where it all started. I mean, it started with Herc just doing a block party, right? And so the initial elements were let's come together and have a good time. Yeah, there's a lot of violence that's going on, but there's not going to be violence here. We're here to have a good time. And then the MC was there to really just tell people, you know, your mom is here, so go turn off the lights in your car, right? And then that evolved to really getting the crowd going. But then I think the social part of hip hop was I think youth at that time saw the value of having that platform and giving social commentary.
Yes.
And now I think we live in a time where that will organically happen again, just simply because of the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
And my argument has always been that recently I don't feel like there's been enough of the balance in hip hop from a quote unquote commercial standpoint. It's always been there, but it was harder to access. And I think because of the times in which we're living, you're going to see artists who are going to use this platform more to really speak about the things that are happening.
And I would really hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
You know, and you get one person's not going to be able to do it.
Right.
You need a movement of people.
Yeah. Do you feel like through your platform of your artistic platform, not necessarily just as a DJ, but you know, speaking specifically with Akepele, have you thought about utilizing that platform for make that conscious statement, that socially conscious statement?
Yes and no.
Mhm.
I started to play with a couple of ideas, just with the basic like fist up and say we stand with you,
Yeah.
just to kind of show support. But at the same time, I'm like, it there's a separation that's going to be there with people who may not believe that side, and I want to just stay positive all the way around. And it's not that I would not want to acknowledge it because I do vocally when I talk to you one on one. But as far as making a statement, I want to stay as neutral as I can because I feel like that's fair, and but believe me, I mean, my heart is doing what's right among everybody. But I'm on a business standpoint, and
Yeah.
I want to stay neutral, and I want everybody to feel welcome and loved.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like Trump.
Just put that out
Yeah,
there
I
right
mean, I
quick.
will say that.
Yeah.
It-
I was at Future Shock, one of the local record companies here or record stores here in Portland, and was looking at some records and sort of kind of just checking out the shop, and I saw some acapella tees in there.
yeah, yeah,
The what we have here in Portland in terms of community is continuing to grow, and in a lot of ways, it's a I wouldn't say tight community, but I would say it is a community.
hmm
Um, those opportunities of connecting with local record shops and that sort of thing, and building or sharing your brand with that. What has that experience been like for you?
it's great.
Yeah.
Tim and Mike are awesome,
Yeah.
and Future Shock. I spend a lot of my money there. Like I keep my business and my personal financials separate,
Mhm.
but there's been times where I went to go pick up, my sales
Yeah.
from my tees, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to just drop this back in
Right,
the store
right.
right now. You guys did this on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's great there. And again, my goal is to get into more stores locally and boutiques and stuff like that. It's kind of where I want the brand to be kind of represented, but I'm doing with what I can handle right now.
Yeah.
And Future Shock has been enough. And I mean, even at that right now is a couple of the designs that are currently in there have been in there for a while.
Yeah.
So I need to re-up, but they did some changes on the apparel, how they're doing things in there and where they're putting it and stuff. So
Mhm.
I was kind of waiting until they got that finished to bring in some new product. But I think now with the new one right here,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put that in there. I think it's going to be a good mover. So
That's what's up. I'm gonna have to when I post up the podcast, I'm gonna have to snap this, man. This one is dope. On this tee just dropped like
yesterday,
just dropped yesterday,
Yesterday.
man. It is so crazy.
happy birthday hip hop.
Right? Sedgwick Ave Hip Hop Boulevard. This is so dope, bro. Was this an idea you'd been thinking about
Yeah.
and waiting for
Yeah.
the birthday to drop?
Yeah, and I also did some research to make sure nobody else has dropped that tee because that would have
Word.
been my halt right there,
Right,
right? But I was
right.
like, nobody's done it yet. Why?
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
idea. So I was like, well, let me put it up and get it moving. And sure enough, I did. So
It's so dope. It's so dope,
Yeah.
bro.
we rocked that last night at the show too. So
Oh, word.
yeah, all three of us had it on.
Word. That's
Yeah,
what's up, man.
me, J-Ritz, Saywords.
Shout out to J-Ritz and Saywords, man. It's crazy. They they're a part of the history of what I've been doing here when I was doing Welcome to the Neighborhood, the radio show over at X-Ray FM. I'm sorry, over at KZME. They came through. I had an opportunity to chop it up with them. J-Ritz especially. I hadn't seen them cats in a while, so it's always cool to see artists who are continuing to work their dream.
Mhm.
So it's dope. And we should just mention it too, man. Man, y'all just rocked last night with Quick and Scareface, bro.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was great. We had a really good time slot too, and we rocked it.
Word.
Yeah, we had
Word.
the crowd was bouncing. The energy that those guys display when they're performing is just incredible. And I mean, it was hard for me to keep up.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't have this kind of energy
Right.
that you guys got. I mean,
Right.
I was nervous, I was pumped up and everything.
Yeah.
It was a real exciting show and it was a great experience. But I'm like, man, these guys are just going full out. Like I felt like I was at an arena concert,
Yeah.
and everybody who was there got to feel that as well. And
Yeah.
I have nothing but love for those guys. And Ritz, he's got the biggest heart in the world. He's just the nicest guy. I've known him since we were teenagers.
Oh, word.
And just watching him develop as an artist has been incredible.
Yeah.
And he's living his life doing the father thing and his day hustle, but his heart is in music, man. And this show, I really feel like prepping for this show and having the opportunity to perform and be involved just inspired him on so many levels.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could almost say expect to hear some new stuff from J-Ritz and
That's what's
Saywords,
up.
I imagine.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Man. Well, y'all, when y'all hear this podcast, you got to get at me with music, man, because we have not connected since I've been over here at X-Ray, and it's coming up on 3 years. That's way, way too long. So,
Yeah.
definitely need to get at me. We didn't even mention the easiest way to access. So we talked about, like, if you're in Portland, just head over to Future Shop. But the easy way to access the brand, if people want to really see more about what's available through Akepele, like, what's the easiest way to do that?
Akepele.com, www.akepele.com.
Okay.
Akepele, as some people call
Exactly.
it. The phonetic spelling again, but yeah. My Instagram page is flooded. It's kind of like where, again, I DJ, but I spend most of my time on my Akepele Instagram page, but on all social media outlets, just Akepele Apparel.
Word.
Yeah.
And you've got, I was checking out the site. You actually have a number of items there. You've got the tees, obviously. You got some tank tops. You got some hoodies there. Is there anything that is in the works that you can share that people might be seeing new?
I got a few new designs that I'm working with. I collaborated with a tattoo artist, a good friend of mine from childhood age too. Actually done some work on me.
Okay.
And I collabed with him on a design he had that we're about to put out. Hopefully I'll have it done for the winter release, maybe fall release, if I can get the time to really dial it in.
Yeah.
I got new hats coming too. There's been a flood of emails because they love the hats.
Yeah.
They speak to people sometimes. Again, the aesthetics of the word Akepele looks pretty cool. So I got new hats coming, some good designs. That's pretty much where I stand right now. I've got a few other things in the works, cut and sew stuff, but that's probably going to be a little bit more down the road.
Gotcha.
I'm waiting I got some cool silhouettes I want to work with, but I'm trying to find the right person to help me create them. Because, not to tell all my secrets, but I didn't go to fashion school either.
Right.
Like, I'm learning as I go, and I think that's the most important thing, though. Like, I learned just recently going back to school full time to work on my business degree to kind of help me run this company properly.
Yeah.
I've learned that I enjoy learning. Like, taking these classes. I mean, not to boast, but I'm holding the 4 point right now.
That's
2 years
That's
in, I'm
what's
like
up.
pretty proud of myself,
Yeah,
right?
You should, bro.
But it's like I'm learning so much, and just the idea of being creative with my writing and taking in just business knowledge and getting in front of people and giving speeches and talking about the brand. It's another outlet for me, and just all that stuff has been cool. And just this whole process has been a learning experience for me, and I feel like from the jump. In 2014, from starting this, I've grown as a person. I've learned how to communicate with people better.
Yeah.
I've learned how to really kind of talk to people to get what I want and what I need,
Yeah.
and go into a conversation with a result in mind and achieving it. I mean, it's just a growing process, and some of that stuff I never really had to put myself into with the previous employers or whatnot. I just never really had to engage like that. And now, I've got something that I stand behind 100%. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I need to really make sure everything I do with this is going to be on the most professional level and the best customer service I could provide people too. I mean, free shipping, by the way, right now.
Oh, that's
something that people haven't yet really taken for granted, in the sense of like, there's quite a few brands out there that will offer free shipping up to a certain point of like sales, but I'm kind of like, when you see the item price on the website, that's what it is. I'm not trying to get you on shipping. I'm not going to overcharge you on shipping. It's built into the price. So, at least for the time being, that what you see is what you get price wise, which is cool. And then, I handle all my customer service online, and if there's any trouble, which there really hasn't been, except for like maybe something that was shipped out late because I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Shoot people 20% off, and they come back and they're grateful that they even have somebody tangible they can reach. Being that most of my sales are online, it's kind of, it helps to be able to reach out to people and let them know that there is a human behind this. It's not some corporation that's got a side hustle that's putting out some stuff.
Yeah.
Straight up. But it's cool, man.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Last thing, again, looking at the community here in the Portland area, and as we mentioned, there are a number of brands here in Portland, in terms of clothing lines. Some larger than others, some newer than others, some that have not been along quite as long as you have with Akepele, and then some who have been around for quite a while. Is fashion something that you can create? Can there be a collaborative process with fashion? Can local brands come together and say, hey, we really want to build something in Portland, so that when people come into Portland, they can say, this is what Portland has to offer,
Mhm.
like we strive to do with music?
Um, I think it's definitely there. I
Mm-hmm.
do think it's there. Again, I haven't really put myself out there to kind of intermingle with the other brands,
Mm-hmm.
maybe as much as I could.
Mm.
Mostly, I'm pretty protective of what I got. So,
Yeah.
and I worked hard to get where I'm at. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, how much information do I divulge, and,
Yeah.
how do I interact with somebody without feeling like I may be taken advantage of, or they may be wanting to work with me for. But again, that's just kind of my theory in my
Yeah.
head,
Yeah.
and it could be nothing like that.
Yeah.
It could be the most cool people out there, and we're like, oh my God, we're excited to work with you. We didn't think you want to work with us, kind of a thing, right?
Right.
And that's kind of where that's probably one of my own personal faults, but I definitely think it's there. There's a lot of brands here that are making noise, and Mannequin is one I just learned of, and through my barber. Actually, he was
Yeah.
sporting it one day, and through his Instagram page, I was like, that's tight. I
Yeah.
like that. I want to get to know this. So
Yeah.
I have yet to talk to him and make the introduction, but I do feel like I want to get out there and meet some more people that are in the industry, and I want to be involved in Portland Fashion Week and all of that. And I think that's going to come along with my cut and sew to kind of like differentiate where I want to go.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, especially like with FitWise, is stuff that I personally, I don't want to put something out that I wouldn't wear.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you're not going to see Hanes beefy tees coming out of Acapella
Right.
unless it's a request.
Yeah.
I just don't wear that. And they don't fit me well, and they shrink up wrong. I mean, again, quality has been a big thing for me. I spent a lot of time and money,
Yeah.
I guess, perfecting what I want to put out there, if you will. I bought a lot of blanks, put them through a wash cycle, hung dry them, dried them, watched their fades,
Yeah.
watch how they shrunk and the integrity they kept. And that's kind of where I was like, okay, I got a few brands that I work with, and that's what I'm putting out there.
Yeah.
And I've stayed pretty consistent with that, and it's worked for me because I get nothing but compliments. I love the way your shirts feel. There's, I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
sewn this myself.
right. Yeah. Oh, oh, my man Trent Berry, bro. Like I said, it's just been cool to see, to have the product that you've put out there kind of catch my eye, and then to see it as consistently as I've seen it over the years, and then to be able to sit down and sort of that 6 degrees of separation, and know that you rock with Saywords and J-Ritz, and
Yeah.
I have that relationship with them, and
Mhm.
how this community just continues to grow, and how we touch one another's in ways oftentimes that we don't realize.
Yeah.
So I just want to say how much I appreciate you taking time to come through. I know that you're a busy man, and so it really means a lot to and my hope, just like I say with the radio show, the same thing goes with the podcast, man. I mean, I want to continue to build on this relationship, and however I can serve,
Yeah.
just let me know. If there are ways that people who are listening to this, ways that people maybe who have ideas that they want to share with you, or maybe they heard something in your story that inspired them, or a way that they want to reach out, is the best way to reach out to you directly just through the website?
Yeah, through the website. I'm the only one who really handles everything there. So
Yeah.
if you send it, I'll get it.
Okay, word.
But yeah, I would encourage anybody with any questions, or I mean, any concerns, I'll give you anything that's not going to hurt my business,
Mhm.
just like with anything else. But I will say, like, I've done quite a few speaking sessions at PCC. As I'm going there, instructors will reach out to me and like, I love your story. Would you talk to my students?
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs. And I told my story to them, and I let them know some of my failures and my successes and things to look out for. And it seems to motivate and work with them. They reached out to me a few times and was like, man, I love what you did. I think I'm ready to push forward with what I want to do. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you totally different from even like an apparel brand, but
Right.
they're, something that they've been wanting to dive into. And they're like, I really feel like I could do it now, and it's about taking that leap. And, one of the questions that was asked to me is like, what do you tell somebody, or your advice to somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur and wants to try and do something that they had in their mind? And I was like, just do it, jump in there and do it.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're always going to sit there and think like, what if I did that?
Yeah.
Or you'll see somebody else who maybe have, adapted the same idea that you had, and now they're successful with it. And you're going to be, shooting yourself in the foot on that one, like,
Right,
what I
right,
do, but
right.
just do it, jump out there, put yourself out there, at least for where you're comfortable at the point, but like eventually make that full leap, and I still feel like there's a leap I can make,
Yeah.
but I'm in my comfort zone right now, and I'm doing with what works and what I can handle, I guess. But but honestly, I want to say thank you for bringing me here and reaching out to me and just letting me know that you like the brand and you like what we're about,
Definitely.
and I think that that's something that it inspired me, and I'm like, this is cool,
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Love that.
It's definitely my pleasure, man. Blessings to you and continue growth of the brand, and I'm anxiously anticipating to see what you have lined up for the fall and winter, and just excited to see you here in doing what you're passionate about. And once again, man, blessings for many years, more years of success.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Much respect.
Absolutely. My man, Trent Berry, here on Klyph Notes. Once again, check out the website, acapella.com.
Yep.
Akepele Apparel. And just look out for more coming up. Once again, you can subscribe to Klyph Notes wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, through the DJ Klyph website, just wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm going to hit y'all with one more joint from my man Theory Has It. Once again, going to start featuring some local producers out of the Portland metro area. Be on the look for more Welcome to the Neighborhood on X-Ray FM. I rock with you every Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to say this while he's sitting here. Maybe I might even be able to get my man Trent to come through and throw on a mix on Welcome to the Neighborhood so you can hear him do his thing.
I would love it.
That's what's up.
I would love it.
That's what's up. All right, chat. God bless you all, man. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Here's more music from my man Theory Has It. Until we meet again. Peace.